What is going on, brothers and sisters? Eric Rosen here, your internal strength coach, here to show you how to overcome your greatest challenges so you can shine your brightest light. I'm out here in the park again before it storms. Here to tell you, one, about the coaching services that I offer, free 30-minute consultations for that, and also the personal training. Still giving away a couple free sessions, so if you're interested, message me. So the topic that I wanted to cover today has to do with work stress. Work. This came up to me today because I was actually getting a car ready to sell it, and so I was like going through all the motions of like I gotta wash the car, then I gotta like take the photos, and then I gotta like write the ad and post it online and all this shit. And I noticed like towards the end of like doing all of these tasks that I was feeling like pretty stressed out, and I noticed like my breathing wasn't very good, that I had some tension in like different parts of my body. And I thought, this isn't right. There's a better way to actually do this. And it got me thinking that that's kind of like the cycle I think that we go through a lot of times with our work. We go to work, we develop stress, we develop tension, and then we spend the rest of our day, doing things to unwind. Some of those things are healthy, some are not. But, rather than, allowing yourself to like develop all this tension and stress around it, I think it's actually possible to control your state, even though you may not be able to change the workload. In fact, you probably can't, but you can actually change the way that you go about your work. So those are the key talking points that I wanted to present today on how you can do this. So number one, super fucking simple, is just start with your breathing. Okay, just notice like you're in this state of like you're just not breathing. So in through the nose, out through the mouth, like not a big fucking deal. So what this does, obviously, one, it's going to cultivate presence. It's going to keep you from getting in the state of like, fuck, I got to get all this work done. Like it's only, 10 o'clock. I've got, until 5 o'clock to get all this stuff done. And so rather than get into this, just mind fuck of like, oh, I got to do all this stuff, just become aware, just come back to your breath. I think that, a lot of times too, like this stress, it's not always just, some people think they're not getting that stressed out. Like maybe like, it's like, well, I don't really get a whole lot of tension in my body and my breathing is fine and all that, but who knows? It could just be your thoughts surrounding work. Like thinking about, man, this sucks, I don't want to be here. Like even those thoughts about work are going to like kind of mount up in a cumulative fashion and become stressful as well. So the second one, also real simple, is like, even if you're busy as shit, you've got a lot going on, take fucking breaks. Like learn to unplug. And I don't mean get on the phone and get on the fucking Facebook feed, like unplug, because that's more of a time filler if you ask me. But it's taking time to close your eyes and maybe meditate for 5 minutes, or take a walk, or go talk to a friend or phone up a friend. Just find something that allows you to detach your mind a little bit from just fucking sitting there and going, like, oh, I got all this shit to do, like I got to keep working on it. Fuck that noise. So number three, you need to realize that there's times when it just feels like the needle's not moving. You've got all this stuff to do, and it just feels like you're working, maybe hours, days at a time, and it feels like the paperwork or the customers or whatever you got mounting up, like you just cannot make a dent in it. There's going to be times where it just feels like that. There's going to be times where you're not hitting milestones, where there is no payoff, and you gotta stick with it. You just have to know like that these times are coming, so that you can be aware of it, that it's not always going to feel like work's getting done when it actually is. It just doesn't seem like it. So the other thing is, you just need to learn to know that this shit's going to get done, like one way or another. You need to learn to trust the process. trust in your ability to get it done, trust in, the plan that you created for yourself, just knowing that at the end of the day it's going to get done. You're not going to lose, you're not going to get fired if you don't work fast enough. So many people have these fears that hardly ever come true, that if they don't do something right, they're going to get fired. I mean, it takes a lot for that to happen. But worrying about all the work that you have is not, worrying about it in the moment's not going to get it done, right? It's the elephant. You eat it one bite at a fucking time. It's that simple. So, I think too that there's something to be said, especially if you have a job or you're concentrating on something, where you have to really think on your feet. There's a lot of critical thinking involved. The more stressed you are, the more poor your brain is going to function. So that's not good for those people that need that. You get stuck in this stressful state, and then not only are you going to start making mistakes, but you might miss opportunities too, just because you're so focused on the actual work itself, you forget to just focus on the process. Instead, you're focused on the work. For me, this has been a thing that's been coming up. It's like blending the masculine and feminine characteristics, the masculine of still working, the act of getting things done, but then the feminine characteristics of still doing it in a graceful fashion. And that's going to allow you too to still be intuitive and pick up on things. I mean, that's been a focal point for me. I mean, this has been, the past 2 weeks have been some of the busiest weeks of my life, at least in the past few years. And I've noticed that if I start, just pounding things too much, that I kind of lose that serene state, where I feel really tapped into spirit, and then I start feeling like I'm kind of going back to being driven by ego, and it just doesn't feel like a very good place. So, and then the last thing is learning to change the way that you think about work. And this is especially for the people that hate their fucking jobs. Especially when the work is mounting up, you're getting behind, there's a real possibility that it'll happen to you where, it goes from just hating that you have so much work to do to being fuck this job, I don't want to be here, this sucks. Flip that shit around, go back to gratitude instead, and just realize, what this job's doing for you. It's giving you money to put food on the table, to give you shelter, and it's really just, an idea of focusing on the service. Focus on the service of whatever industry that you're in. I don't care, if you're managing employees or you're flipping hamburgers. Focus on what value that you're providing to society rather than just focusing on the dollars. Okay, doing it with a glad heart. I mean, yeah, especially if you're the McDonald's worker. I mean, say you're you're fucking there, and how it is in fast food. Most workers there, they don't give a fuck if they give you the right order or not. But how refreshing is it when you meet somebody, you see somebody that's working a job that fucking sucks, it's not a job you would want to do, but they're actually a really happy, positive person. Everybody likes that person. They're inspiring. Or if if you're the manager, you've got employees working for you, the more high vibe state that you're going to be in, the more you're going to inspire your employees. So, and that's really I think what a lot of this stuff is about too, is spreading those vibrations, spreading that good energy to people, just staying in these positive states, because people pick up on that stuff, and it's contagious in a very good way. So that's what I got for you guys today. Again, the coaching's available, the personal training's available, so feel free to shoot me a message if you guys are interested in that, and I'll be back tomorrow. See ya.